Hi, my name is Sammy. Welcome to my channel. Today I will be going through every C-drama and K-drama that I've watched so far in this year of 2025. I'll be going through each show that I watched very briefly, just giving my brief thoughts, and I will have each show in a chapter down below if you want to skip to any certain part. Without further ado, let's get started. So I'll start off with the K-dramas that I've watched because I started watching K-dramas. I only started watching C-dramas a few months ago, so let's start with K-dramas, and I'll just be going through them by the order that I watched them in. Starting off with Weak Hero Class 1, which is a show from, I believe, a few years ago. And it's about this stoic high school kid who stands up for others in his class that get bullied, and he's also bullied. And honestly, I did not connect with this show, and I know that it's a pretty popular show. Low-key, I don't really understand why. The acting from everyone is good. I just didn't really enjoy it that much. I mean, the bullying is not fun to watch, and some of the characters got really annoying. If you love this show, I'm sorry, but also I'm very curious why you like it, so I would love to know your thoughts. Next is, I'll put these two somewhat together because I watched No Gain, No Love and the spin-off Spice Up Our Love, and the main reason I even watched this show is because I like the second couple's girl. The name escapes me and now I have to look it up. The actress is Han Ji-hyun, who I first saw back in, was it Penthouse? Which was her breakout role, and I really like her as an actress, so honestly she is the main reason I wanted to watch. I wanted to watch her and her male love interest, and they were the second couple, so they didn't have that many scenes together in the main K-drama No Gain No Love. Regarding the main couple, I don't think they really had much chemistry, nor did they look good together. I didn't dislike it necessarily, it was just very forgettable, so I don't think I would necessarily recommend it unless you have a lot of time, but I did like the scenes of the second couple. And then they had a very short, I think it's only 2 episodes spin-off, which was called Spice Up Our Love, and the premise of that is that in the main show she is a fanfic author, and then in the spin-off she wakes up and she's suddenly in the body of her main character of like the fan fiction that she's writing, and the male love interest is the male character. I don't think I knew the premise beforehand. I wish it was more just like normal romance between them and not this wacky concept, but I don't know, it was fine. It was slightly disappointing, but it is what it is. Next up, I watched the K-drama Blood Free, which is on Disney+. I think it came out either last year or like last year. At first, I thought the premise is that they can genetically create meat now, so it's very controversial, and the main female lead is the CEO of this company, and the male character is her new bodyguard who kind of has other reasons to take this job. I initially thought it was interesting because of the whole genetic meat idea. I just thought that was unique and just an interesting idea in itself, but I think there's supposed to be another season that comes out in the future, but it takes a turn that I did not expect at all, which I will not spoil, but when it happened I was like, what is going on right now? It kind of went off the rails in my opinion, and is not something that I would be interested in watching anymore. So far it sounds like all the K-dramas I've watched are disappointing. And now that I'm looking at my list, unfortunately that is the case because none of these are that great. Continuing with that is Haunted Palace, which I believe was a very popular show from this year. This is a 2025 release. It stars Yuk Sung-jae and Po-na. It is a historical fantasy romance drama about the main girl who is a shaman and the guy who is a imugi or dragon, I think. So he's a mystical creature who body swaps into a human man, and they go on their adventure to exorcise this demon that's after the royal family. And I think conceptually it is very unique and interesting, which I think plays into why it was so popular. I think this is a show that is good and that a lot of people will enjoy, obviously, since it was so popular. But I think it just didn't connect with me because it was trying to be funny in a lot of scenes, and I just didn't think most of them were funny at all. But I also don't really like comedy usually, so maybe that's just me. And the last newest K-drama that I've seen is Squid Game Season 3, and I'm sure you've probably seen it already or seen opinions and thoughts about it. It is not that good. I didn't hate it, but it's not great, and it's pretty forgettable. So yeah, that's how that legacy ended, I guess. But I'm sure they're gonna make more spin-offs, which I will not watch. And now going into the Cdramas that I've watched. There's only a couple again because I started watching only a few months ago, but we got some bangers here. The K-dramas, mostly misses, unfortunately, but these ones got a lot of hits. I'm only talking about shows that I've watched up until June, so I only have 2 to report back on here. The first one is Love Like the Galaxy, which is what started my entire journey and put me down this rabbit hole, and this came out a few years ago. It's a historical romance about the main girl who grew up without her parents nearby. She was mostly raised by her grandma and this aunt who both were not very nice to her, and because of that she's had to grow up to be very cautious. She's grown up to be resilient, but also kind of a troublemaker. It talks about her journey. There's family drama elements and, of course, a romantic element because she meets the ruthless but popular general. It's about them developing their love. Well, not really. There's a lot of family stuff that goes on before the romance even starts building, so it's definitely a slow burn romance, just a warning. The stuff beforehand is still very compelling, and that's why it's just such a good show, and it has become one of my favorite shows of all time. Probably my favorite romance ever, so you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. The last C-drama that I want to talk about is Legend of Shanghai, which is a revenge story about the titular character whose family is killed when he was young, and so for like a decade he trains and prepares with these masters to become the ultimate revenge weapon, and he infiltrates his enemies and enacts revenge. And it's very fun, although it's serious at times, but also very fun at times. My dad describes it as kind of like ancient Chinese Indiana Jones, which if you've seen some of the scenes, you'll know where this is coming from. But there's really some really cool set pieces. The show looks amazing. I also really love the lead female character, and I also liked them together, even though some people thought the romance was unnecessary, which I can see where these opinions are coming from, but I personally thought they were cute together, so I didn't mind. And I think you have to have a bit of romance to put some stakes into it, you know? Like, he's gotta have something that he could lose and not just be a killing machine. I'll only briefly go through the other shows that I watched this year, but if you are curious for a more in-depth review, I post reviews on my Instagram for everything I watch, including movies, on a story highlight, which is here. Or here. You can find my full review or follow if you want to see immediate updates on everything that I watch. I'll just quickly go through them and very fast opinions. So for anime, I watched Dr. Stone Season 2. Okay. Look Back the movie didn't connect with me. Yeah, I know people were bawling their eyes out or whatever, but I did not think it was sad, or I didn't like it or whatever. Tower of God Season 2, so different from Season 1. Actually confusing. Solo Leveling is just a power fantasy action. Dan Da Dan Evil Eye the movie, which is very good and it makes me excited for the upcoming season that is airing right now. And for Western shows, I will also be going through them quickly. I watched Silo Season 2, which is a really good dystopian show. Season 1 is better, but highly recommend on Apple TV. Castlevania Nocturne Season 2, low-key already forgot how I felt about it, but it was probably good. Blacklist Season 1 on Netflix. Just an easy watch, good solid show. Severance Season 1 and 2, masterpiece, one of the best examples of television, best shows ever, amazing in every single way. Moving on. Invincible season 3, it's okay. I probably thought at some points that the people were annoying. I don't know. That's just what I remember. Yellow Jackets season 3, didn't really like it. Probably not going to keep watching. White Lotus seasons 1, 2, 3. Some of the characters really pissed me off. Not bad, but I don't get the hype that much. And lastly, The Pit, which is very interesting look at what an emergency room operates and what healthcare professionals have to do in an emergency room. So very insightful. Also, I want to go through what I'm currently watching and also what is on my watch list for the rest of this year. I'm currently slowly getting through Nirvana and Fire, which is a very popular C-drama about revenge and plotting and politics and stuff like that. Fighting for the throne, that kind of thing. I'm also currently watching The Princess Gambit, which I think just recently finished airing. It is a historical romance. Just a fun watch. And then also the K-drama 9 Puzzles on Disney+, which is a recent, I forget last year or this year, Korean drama about a serial killer. And on my watch list, I have Hunter with a Scalpel, also Disney+ K-drama about a serial killer. Hidden Love and The First Frost, both C-dramas on Netflix, which are romance, very popular and highly rated, so I'm curious. Lastly, Alice in Borderland 3, which is a Japanese drama. It's the final season, which will be airing on Netflix in September. I hope you enjoyed watching this video of me yap about all the shows that I watched this year. If you did, please subscribe and join my small drama community, and I will see you in my next video.